Covert intel. Iran is preparing for a U.S. tactical nuclear strike. Hey everyone, Johnny here. Don't speak news. We're just going to get into it as we always do. Now, Hal got most of this info on this Twitter post here. As General Yaha Rahim Safavi, he says that launching a nuclear strike against Iran would be the most illogical decision for the U.S. or Israel. He says the area of Iran is approximately 1.6 million square kilometers. A significant portion of the country's territory is desert, and a tactical nuclear strike would undoubtedly inflict serious and tragic damage on Iran, resulting in numerous casualties. Despite this, a tactical nuclear strike would not destroy Iran, and the size of its territory would allow the country to survive. However, in response, he says, we will launch direct strikes at the Dimona nuclear facility and other Israeli nuclear centers. For a country as small as Israel, this would result in a much more devastating collapse. The choice, of course, is up to the United States. And so that's what this general had to say about the United States potentially using tactical nuclear weapons because they can't reach these underground missile cities any other way. And yet, some of them are so deep into the granite mountains, especially these nuclear facilities inside of Iran, that it's doubtful even a tactical nuke could get through. So it remains to be seen, but I bet you we're going to see it, and probably soon. But also in this article, besides what the general had to say, well, I guess that was about it. It was just that one tweet. But here's some more covert intel. This is also over on Telegram. Russia has placed its naval nuclear forces on full alert, according to a Putin aide. This is not a snap nuclear exercise. No one I've spoken with understands why Russia has done this. Well, if you looked on Telegram a little further, you'd know. They're being threatened, and they feel threatened because the United States is putting nuclear-tipped missiles inside of Poland and possibly inside the Baltics too. But anyway, there's rampant speculation, but so far a lot of it's speculation. The speculation trends along the lines that Russia believes the U.S. is going to use tactical nukes against Pickaxe Mountain in Iran. If the U.S. nukes Iran, Russia may step in. Yes, this Pickaxe Mountains, I also read about this potential scenario on Telegram. And it says that this Pickaxe Mountain, the base there that contains nuclear material, is so deep that it's very doubtful a tactical nuke would make any difference. But if the U.S. nukes Iran, then Russia may step in. If the U.S. nukes Iran, Russia may use tactical nukes in Ukraine. Yeah, that would give them the green light in their eyes. If the U.S. nukes Iran, Russia may tactically nuke NATO logistics centers in Poland and Romania, which are arming Ukraine. Again, all of the above is speculation. No one I've spoken with can speak to this definitively. So the bottom line is when Russia, the most heavily nuclear-armed nation on Earth, puts its nuclear naval forces on full alert, something way serious is going on and everyone should be paying attention or getting ready or prepared as best you can. And we talk about that all the time, prayed up and prepped up. So if he says if I get further deals, I'll update it. And so here's an update. At 12:20 p.m., I'm receiving more bits and pieces of information regarding the naval nuclear alert in Russia. 37 minutes ago, the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs publicly reissued a long-established, well-known public position regarding foreign troops entering Ukraine. The statement says the following. No foreign troops on Ukrainian territory will be allowed. The deployment of foreign troops on Ukrainian territory is unacceptable, and such units will be considered by Moscow as legitimate military targets. It goes on to say that the appearance of any military contingents from the countries of the Coalition of the Willing on the territory of Ukraine is unacceptable. If they're deployed, they will turn into a legitimate target for the Russian military. Then to go along with that, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova recalled the recent statement by French President Macron. She says that the French leader said that plans to deploy forces far from the front line are already ready, and in the coming months, relevant exercises will be held in European countries neighboring Ukraine. She went on to say that in this context, we would like to once again emphasize the unacceptability for our country to deploy any military contingents in Ukraine from the countries of the so-called coalition of the willing. This will, I repeat again, de facto mean foreign intervention and increase in threats to Russia's security. The diplomat added that such units will be perceived as legitimate military targets. And so Zakova compared the Western coalition of the willing on Ukraine to Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, that's a good comparison when you're talking about the governments of the Western countries. Prior to that, French President Macron, at a meeting in Paris, announced the accession of Moldova and North Macedonia to the coalition of the willing to support Kiev. At the same time, Russian presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov called the coalition of the willing a group of warmongers who do not want peace and seek to continue the conflict. Then, of course, there's also the British Storm Shadow cruise missiles. So today's naval nuclear alert in Russia, combined with the reissuance of the long-standing Russian position on foreign troops entering Ukraine, and the speaking about this exact topic by both Maria Zakharova and Dmitry Peskov, all aligned to reveal what's actually going on. But there's a major problem. Britain has shipped nuclear-tipped Storm Shadow cruise missiles into Poland. Intel sources inside Russia tell me it's clear that to the Russians that NATO intends to insert combat troops into Western Ukraine, and if Russia hits those troops, NATO will claim it to be an attack upon NATO. That same Russian source tells me that the British nuclear-tipped Storm Shadow missiles were moved in such a flagrant manner that it's clear that they wanted Russia to see that NATO nukes were moved into Poland. Perhaps NATO believes that the presence of these nukes will deter Russia from hitting foreign troops that enter Ukraine. But it won't deter Russia. Russia will hit such troops almost immediately upon their arrival into Ukraine, and if the Storm Shadow missiles are seen moving from the storage in Poland, Russia will take such movement as the commencing of a nuclear first strike by NATO. And there you have it. So, yeah, Russia's on high nuclear alert with their naval forces and on alert in general, I would imagine, because it does look like the United States is going to hit that Pickaxe Mountain in Iran with a tactical nuclear weapon. Because I've seen that mentioned all around Telegram today. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled, head on the swivel like always, but no fear. God does not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And if you've been delaying committing your life to Jesus Christ, now is not the time to delay, not 1 second longer. I know some of you are being prompted by him to come home. The prodigal sons are still out there, and you need to come home. He's been calling and he's waiting with open arms. So get back to him now while there's still time, while the ark door is still open, because it's going to close very soon. And that will be it for now. Don't forget, don'tspeaknews.com is home base for all that we do. I put a lot of stories here that we can't report on anywhere else, as you know. And so just put this one up today, as you guys probably have already seen in the video, about how the jab has drastically changed people since 2020. And of course, there's much, much more. Over 3,500 stories here now on the website. And I just put up the new Dr. Water hydrogen water product. So if you'd like to try hydrogen water, you can now do so through the channel. And if you buy these products through my link right here, then we will get credit. We will get a small commission, and that will help keep the website, the ministry, and our household going. So there it is. In fact, these particular tumblers are on sale right now. And you can click on them directly right here. And I'll be putting different specials up here on the daily. Well, not on the daily, but whenever they come up, I guess. And so there's that new tab right there. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can click on channel support, and all the links to support us are right here, including Venmo and Cash App. And then BitChute, Rumble, Telegram, all the places to find us are right here underneath this tab. And that's the only places where we're located, because we've been taken down from everywhere else. And there's no sense on, starting new accounts. So, because they'll just get taken down again. And that will be it for now. God bless. Take care. Johnny Storm. Don't Speak News.